All right, Canada, we need to talk. It's Bakes on Things Daily, and we're going to talk all about the biggest myths today that we are debunking about Pierre Poilievre. Yes, that's right. Liberals are not going to love this video because we have facts to put behind everything as well. Imagine that. So the fear-mongering, the smearing, all of it, we're going to just deal with it now because there's 15 main things that Liberal supporters and candidates and even Mark Carney use on Pierre Poilievre that actually should never be used because none of it's true. So let's talk about that today. But before we get started, please like, please subscribe, please join our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, Bakes on Things, and let's get started. So, Canadians, let's talk about this. The Liberal machine. It is running the most dishonest smear campaign in modern Canadian history. Against, yes, Pierre Poilievre. They don't like this guy, but they shouldn't because he's going to take them on, and they're terrified. They're terrified he's going to win. So they know they can't run on their record of economic failure. Who would? Skyrocketing inflation caused by them, and their complete lack of having any real plan for Canada other than stealing Pierre's ideas. So instead, they've decided to throw out every baseless attack imaginable and hope that it sticks. Hope that Canadians call for it. Well, not today. Let's debunk every single one of their main 15 lies with facts. And the first one we're going to attack is the most common we ever hear. Pierre Poilievre won't get his security clearance. Well, he's had it before. Pierre Poilievre has been a cabinet minister, which means he's held security clearance. He's been in parliament for over 2 decades. And if he were a security risk, he wouldn't have been able to serve in government. Bottom line, especially in the cabinet. So this ridiculous claim is just pure fear-mongering, just like when the Liberals tried to paint Andrew Scheer and Aaron O'Toole as security risks and security threats as well. Pierre is not a security threat, and he will get a security clearance when he becomes PM. The other one, Pierre is an existential threat to our democracy. Are you frickin' kidding me? Some MP said that yesterday. The real threat to democracy is a government that tries to silence opposition voices by forcing them to get a security clearance so they can't talk anymore, punishes peaceful protesters and local supporters, and censors the internet. The Trudeau Liberals have done all of this. Poilievre stands for free speech, accountable government, and more direct say for Canadians through things like referendums and other things like that. They have say. That's democracy in action. Lie number 3 about Pierre is that Pierre has no plan. This is just lazy. Poilievre has one of the most detailed economic plans of any modern Canadian leader. In fact, he's released something new every day. His key proposals have included things like cutting the carbon tax, which you're now benefiting 17 cents at the pump for, and income taxes to help Canadians afford life, boosting energy production to create jobs and lower energy prices, strengthening Canadian manufacturing and resource development like the Ring of Fire and building pipelines, cutting government waste to stop inflationary spending, cutting taxes on capital gains and others, expanding housing supply by getting government out of the way. And yes, Liberals might say, well, it was Mark Carney who reduced the carbon tax. Yeah, it was the 17 cents you've been paying for years was the Liberals' fault. Liberals hate this plan because it exposes their failures. But they also like to pretend it doesn't exist, and that's just dishonest as well. Lie number 4 about Pierre. Pierre only looks out for the rich and ignores the middle class. I've seen comments on this over and over, and it's just total BS. The only party looking out for the rich is the Liberals, who have handed billions in taxpayer money to corporate welfare and elite insiders like Loblaws, Bombardier, and McKinsey. They've had SNC-Lavalin scandals, and even Mark Carney now with Brookfield Asset Management having ties in everywhere. Poilievre is fighting for the working class, the people who pay more in taxes and get less in return. Cutting the carbon tax, lowering income taxes, and making housing affordable helps our regular Canadians, not Trudeau's billionaire friends. So stop with the whole Pierre's out for the billionaires because literally the Liberals are doing that. Lie number 5, Pierre never got a bill passed in 20 years. He's done nothing. Pierre successfully fought and won key battles, including ending the per-vote taxpayer subsidy for political parties, saving Canadians millions of dollars in the process. He also got rid of sponsoring the Federal Accountability, or he sponsored the Federal Accountability Act, the toughest anti-corruption law in Canadian history. stopping a Liberal payroll tax hike that would have hurt small businesses. Yeah, he was heavily involved in stopping that. Meanwhile, Justin Trudeau's signature achievements include ethical violations, scandals, and record debt. And now Mark Carney is doing exactly the same things and even not firing a guy for trying to get somebody kidnapped. Lie number 6, Pierre will cancel healthcare, $10 a day daycare, and other social programs. Baloney. He's already said he's not going to do that. Pierre Poilievre has never said in the first place he would cancel healthcare or social programs. It's all liberal BS and fear-mongering. His actual position is to cut the wasteful spending from these things so that tax dollars go to things that matter, like healthcare, like allowing doctors from other places to actually be doctors here and not consultants. On daycare, the issue is forcing a one-size-fits-all system on parents. His plan? Give families more choice in how they raise their kids. Rather than locking them into government-run programs that only benefit certain people and can only be used in certain places. What about your next-door neighbor who runs the home daycare? Pierre's going to allow that to happen, and you can still get some benefit from it. Lie number 7, Pierre does not support women or women's rights. Enough already. Poilievre has a long track record of supporting policies that help women, including fighting for lower taxes, which helps working moms keep more of their pay, expanding parental leave benefits to make it easier for families. He's fought for that. He's fought for cracking down on crime, including violent crimes against women. So enough with this he doesn't like women garbage. Liberals want to make everything about identity politics, but Pierre focuses on real solutions that help real people. All right, lie number 8. Pierre voted against every liberal social program. Very similar to a lie that we just talked about a couple of lies ago, but slightly twisted in a different way. So Poilievre voted against liberal spending bills because they were filled with waste, corruption, and inflationary policies. Supporting reckless spending isn't compassion, it's economic destruction. Now, lie number 9, Pierre doesn't support the LGBTQ plus community and those Canadians who are a part of that community. And while we don't hear this lie as much, we do see it. And Poilievre has always supported the LGBTQ plus rights, and the Conservative Party itself officially recognized same-sex marriage over a decade ago. In fact, the Liberals keep recycling this lie because they have nothing else to run on. Really, they're running on nothing at this point, but fear and anger and hating people. Pierre is just the Canadian Donald Trump is lie number 10. And this is a ridiculous lie. This is the Liberals' laziest attack of all, really, because they know Canadians have very strong opinions on Donald Trump. So why not try to tie this leader to Donald Trump and avoid everything that you've done for the last 10 years? But the fact is that Poilievre is focused on Canada's economy. He's said it millions of times, not culture wars like the Liberals. He has a real plan, while Trump's policies are completely different than his. He is a lifelong conservative, so in that sense, he's maybe a little bit like Trump, but Trump's actually a political outsider. He joined the Conservative Party down there, the Republicans, a long time ago, but he also has been part of the Democratic Party before. Lie 11, Pierre is Maple MAGA. Kind of the same lie, put differently. The only party importing American-style politics into Canada right now is the Liberals, who constantly talk about Trump and use U.S. culture wars to divide Canadians. Pierre is focused on Canada, not American drama. And that is something that I think we've all noticed in all of these rallies that he's done so far. Lie number 12, Pierre doesn't support seniors. Baloney. Baloney. Poilievre has pledged to protect pensions, lower the taxes for seniors, especially ones who still want to work, and reduce the cost of living. Things that actually matter to seniors. Meanwhile, Trudeau actually froze OAS increases and made life more expensive for seniors on fixed incomes. Lie number 13, Pierre is mean and obsessed with insulting Liberals. Okay, so it's important in Canadian politics or politics anywhere to hold corrupt, incompetent politicians accountable. That isn't mean. It's his job. He's the leader of the opposition. The Liberals want a weak opposition that never questions them, hence why they want him to get his security clearance so they can shut him up. Poilievre's refusal is to play that game, and he's not going to continue to play that game. Lie number 14, Pierre will take away women's rights to choose. Poilievre has clearly stated he will not reopen the abortion debate. He has stated this numerous times, period. The Liberals keep lying because they want to scare Canadians about these topics. It's all fear mongering, and the media backs them up. And lie 15, Pierre isn't strong enough to stand up to Donald Trump. We've heard this a couple times, but really, we're seeing is that Carney can't do it. Poilievre's entire strategy is to make Canada stronger, but to do it on our own, so we don't have to rely on the U.S. Lowering taxes, expanding energy, and boosting trade with other countries and internally, and that puts Canada in a better negotiating position for trade. Carney, on the other hand, was walked all over by Trump. You can tell because Trump said nice things about him. And Trump doesn't say nice things about anybody unless you're giving him what he wants. Canadians need to not fall for the liberal misinformation machine. It's not all on social media. It's coming from the Liberals. Every attack that they bring on Poilievre falls apart once we look at the facts. They're desperate to keep you scared because they have nothing to offer. Poilievre is fighting for lower taxes, a stronger economy, and a better future for Canada. Those are just the facts. That's why the Liberals fear him so much, and that's why they smear him so much. It's time, Canada, to tune out the lies and tune into the truth. That's it. Truth is all that matters, and it will set you free. Thanks for watching Bakes on Things Daily. As I said, go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and comment. Subscribe, like, and comment on TikTok as well. It helps us to create content like this where we can actually push out to you the truth when the mainstream media is trying to bury everything, and so are some of our lovely political parties. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. See you next time.